Alright, hey, happy Monday. I'm Eden, this is Dougie, and this is Beijing. And this week is supposed to be rant week. I can do a lot of rants. I feel like I already do that when I'm speaking. Um, so, whatever, every week for me is rant week in some weird kind of way. But I'd like to touch upon the subject that we spoke about last week, and it was pretty much like our introduction to the trans community and like what we thought of it before we actually realized that we were part of that community or had the language to realize that we were present as well within that community. So I was thinking about this, and I remembered in childhood I had a friend, and their their dad became was like their aunt, like became their aunt. That's how it was explained to me. They were like, yeah. I was like, oh, dude, what happened to your dad? Because they were just gone. I thought like their parents had gone through a divorce or something. And I was like, oh, this is just kind of strange. And later it was explained to me, they were like, well, my dad is my aunt now. I was like, okay, cool. Like, okay, cool. It's probably, I was like a year older. So I was probably like 9, maybe 10, perhaps. It was about a year older. So I always that was my first introduction to the trans community. But it wasn't really explained in depth to me, but it was still like I didn't really have a problem accepting it. It's probably because I was a kid and I was like, whatever, I just want to be your friend still and hang out. Like, your mom makes great food and you have a cool backyard. So, um, and yeah, so that was like my earliest memory of actually being within the presence of someone that had transitioned or being so close to someone and being like the 5 degrees of separation or 6 degrees of separation. Also, uh, like I didn't, since I didn't have the language, like I realized like I would say I knew I was trans when I was a kid, but I just didn't know it was like, oh, I'm a girl, I want to be a boy. Like that's as far as it would I could go in like '95 or whatever when I was like 7. Um, also, what else was I gonna talk about? Oh yeah, so when my good friend began transitioning, they I was hanging out with my other friend, and there was this wood block that had been etched and like burned and had a name in it, and it was the name that my friend had decided to go by, and it was explained to me like, hey, this is what they're going by now, and I was like, okay, cool. But really, like, since I didn't have the language and I didn't know like super duper too much, where I thought it was very binarized, where I thought it was like, oh, you're a boy, you turn to a girl. Oh, you're a girl, you turn to a boy now. And not realizing how non-spectral it was, in how complete like the umbrella of trans was. Like, it's just really interesting to think back on how it was just like, oh, okay, with my two experiences of like knowing people that had or like began transitioning or had someone close to them transitioning. Um, I know that also like when I moved to California, it was super hard for me because where I come from, it's like there is a trans community, but most of like the trans masculine kids are definitely um, like really clicky towards like, oh, we just want to work out, blah blah blah, like, oh, we just want to hang out and like go like and talk about girls, blah blah blah. It was really like the trans scene is pretty. When I was there, it just seemed very binarized. So when I moved, and I was just identifying as gay, like, and so when I moved and everybody was like, oh, what's your pronoun, blah blah blah, and I'd be like, yo, just call me by my name. I think I was using she her. Um, Mainly I was like, yo, call me by my name. It would just like blow my fucking mind because I was like, why can't anyone just be gay or just like, like be a lesbian and just be gay? And then it's like this huge queer community. And then I started meeting people that were trans, that were like non-binary trans or like still under the umbrella. And just like, it blew my mind because I was like, oh, well, I thought it was like all the standard stigmas of transitioning where it's like, you're not an HRT. How does this work? How can you still be trans? Blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, and people just explain it to me. So if anything, like, before I knew exactly what being trans like entailed, or just like how many other people, like how inclusive it truly is. Like my idea was like very binarized, whereas like one way or the other. But yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, like that's my rant. It's the rant week. That's my rant. What else do you want me to rant about? Currently, I'm drinking a Kenyan coffee. It's very delicious. It truly does have flavor notes of milk chocolate. I can't quite taste the rose, slight hibiscus, but it's very fruity and more like chocolatey on my palate. So, most tasty. Uh, how long is this video? Right now? Let me see how long I'm like ranting. Oh, okay, cool. It's like 5 minutes, 6 minutes, whatever. If you want to watch the whole video, you'll watch the whole video. If you don't, I don't really blame you because I don't want to listen to my bullshit either. So, but yeah, I don't really know what else to rant about. I'm going to work. I'm excited to go to work. Oh, I had a really interesting experience at the nail salon. I had to go get a manicure because I did some hand modeling. You're welcome. And as soon as I walked in, I just kind of stood there, and I don't know how it really works. Sometimes, like, if they'll, like, approach you, or if you go to them and you're like, hey, I just want a manicure. But, I actually just went in, and then I sat, and I waited for someone to speak to me. And then I texted Jack, and was like, what do I do? Like, how do I get them to acknowledge me? And then Jack came in, and they were like, oh, hey, we'll be with you in just a moment. Like, what do you need? And then Jack's like, 2 manicures, and I'm just sitting there like, that's what I wanted to. But it's very interesting presenting as a masculine person, and maybe that's like one of the things where I kind of spoke about, like being masculine in a more like femme setting, I guess would be the better way, instead of being like, oh, how do you feel about being in all women's spaces? Yeah, I figured the better topic, or just like the better title for that topic, should have been being masculine in more feminine places, or quote unquote. But yeah, it was really interesting because as soon as Jack came in, they were speaking. And we got a manicures. Find these hands, though. The fuck you doing?
I'm gonna check.
Okay. That's so good. Anyway.
Babe.
Yeah, so whatever, that's rant week. There's probably a lot more stuff that I could rant about, like white cis dudes. But I don't really give a fuck. So, yeah. Tyke, we can talk about Tyke. Tyke's third eyes are just like being really, they're just out, and kind of stressed about that, but she's got eye drops now, so it should be okay. Go boy, let's see your beautiful face. My son. He cool, y'all, he cool. But yeah, so whatever, that's rant week. Sorry I didn't post a video last week, but now you know. If you have any comments, throw them in there. I do need to respond to a few of you. Sorry I have not done that, but I will. So, thank you so much for your patience. I truly appreciate you. And yeah, enjoy your coffee, enjoy your vices, whatever need be and you need to do. Also, go Dubs. It's gonna be a huge fucking parade on Tuesday. But yeah, I hope you have a great Monday. Enjoy the rest of your week. If the weather's nice, enjoy the weather. And if you don't, I don't know. Weather is weather. Just enjoy it. So, yeah. Alright, well, thanks for watching, and talk to you next Monday.